Welcome back to Afternoon Live. It's a word parents use all the time, hoping to encourage good behavior, but our next guest says it's time to stop. Here to reveal that one word parents should not be using and why, we welcome back parenting coach Tia Slightham. Great to see you.
Great to see you too, Hannah. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about just sort of the framework of the language that we use and how we talk to our kids. And sometimes we might have good intentions, but be saying the wrong words.
Yeah, a lot of times what's happening is parents don't know that the language they're choosing to use is actually increasing the pushback and the power struggles. And they're not meaning to, it's just lack of knowing. And so I'm here to help you guys figure out what that number one two-letter word is that parents use that actually increases power struggles. Do you have a guess, Hannah?
Well, I know, so I don't want to, but I didn't know until I cheated and read ahead in our segment. So you go ahead and tell us what the word is, what the no-no word is.
Yeah, most of the viewers and most parents always think it's the word no. That when I use the word no, I'm creating pushback and my kids aren't going to like that I'm telling them no. And yes, there is some validity to that, and there are things we can do around that. But the number one power struggle word is the word if. And I know that doesn't sound like it's going to be harmful, but it actually creates major power struggles.
I was negotiating with my 4-year-old this morning about potty, and I know the phrases I was doing were totally setting me up for failure. So talk more about how if sets us up to not always be successful in our parenting endeavors.
Yeah, when we start our sentences with the word if, it opens that door to a power struggle because it immediately makes you the person in the power seat. So most of those phrases sound something like, if you don't put your shoes on, I'm leaving you. If you don't go potty, you're not getting a treat. If you don't do your homework, no device. And what we're doing is we're saying to our kids, well, in theory, we're trying to motivate our kids and we're trying to do the right thing. But what we're doing is we're really creating that struggle because we're trying to motivate them through threats and overpowering them.
And a lot of those threats, whether we want to admit it or not, are really empty. I mean, we don't follow through as much as we would like to think that we do.
Yeah, we have good intentions, but what happens is we say those phrases, they come out of our mouth, and we think we're going to be able to follow through with what we're saying. But a lot of times what happens is, number one, we've put ourselves in that power seat. Our kids now are saying, okay, mom or dad are testing me. They're saying, if I don't do this thing, they're going to do that. Let's just see, will it really happen? We put them into revenge mode. We force them to dig their heels in, and now we're stuck in this pace where are we going to engage in this power struggle or not? And on top of that, a lot of times those phrases are empty threats, like you were just saying. So are we really going to take TV away for a week? Are we really leaving our kids behind at the park? Probably not. So we want to make sure that when we are helping to motivate our kids, we're actually using phrases and setting the stage for success to follow through with something so we can build trust. So when we say something, they actually believe and know that we mean it.
So let's talk about better words and phrases, ways that we can change our language to be more successful with the kids.
Super simple. Everybody's going to remember this. It's not difficult. Every time you think you want to use the word if, I want you to swap it for when. So instead of if you don't put your shoes on, I'm leaving you, how about when your shoes are on, then we can go to the park. When your homework's done, then you may use your device. When you're finished with your dinner, dessert will be served. So what we want to do is think about giving them choice. Choice always, hands down, gives your kids power. Yes, we want to kind of control the situation in a positive way, but our kids need some form of power too. So when you use the word when instead of if, instead of opening the door for a power struggle, what we've done is we've given them a choice. So either they put their shoes on so that you can go to the park, or they don't put their shoes on and they don't go to the park. Ultimately, that's really affecting your child. They're happy with the choice or they're unhappy with the choice versus you telling them what to do and constantly being in that power seat.
And I typically find that when I give my kids a little bit of extra time to make those choices, they'll usually get there on their own. But what about the time crunch, the morning rush, getting out the door for school? You're already running late. Are there ways that we can kind of recenter and be more successful there as well?
Yeah, so setting the stage for success is super important. We don't want to rush our kids. When we're rushed, we get stressed. When our kids are rushed, they feel stressed, and that's where they're going to have more power struggles. So making sure that your kids are going to bed early, they're waking up on their own, you're not dragging them out of bed, they're tired, they can't really manage. We want to set them up for success. But in that moment where you're feeling really rushed, Another simple language shift that parents can use is using the phrases either or. So either you can get your shoes on and we can walk out the door, or I can carry you to the car and we can put them on in the car. So either or and when then are really simple phrases that parents can use that encourage cooperation without force.
And it's not going to be perfect right away, right? Because kids are kind of hardwired to push those boundaries at a really young age.
Yeah, so every child is born with two predetermined jobs. One of those jobs is to please you, which is amazing. We all love those moments. But the second job is contradictory. It's to push boundaries until boundaries are found. So, one of the things that I really work with parents on is setting what we call 3C's boundaries: how to be concrete, clear, and consistent. So, your kids know what to do, what's coming, what those expectations are, and how to do them so that they don't push back as much, so that they're in the know, they have more control, they have more power, and they can feel more independent and responsible.
Really simple concepts. You've given me some mom homework to ponder and hopefully put into practice at my house this week. Thank you so much, Tia. It was great to see you.
You're welcome, Hannah. Thank you. Great to see you as well.
And we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.